You never plan to get sick. You don't expect to be someone who will suffer a stroke today and require extensive rehabilitation services to learn how to walk again. You never expect to be involved in a life-threatening accident on your way home from school or work. You never imagine that today is the day your family doctor calls you with a cancer diagnosis after a routine appointment. You never plan to need the Kingston hospitals, yet every day, families across our region need access to the care provided at the Kingston hospitals. No one knows this more than Patti Cox.
In November 2010, I attended an appointment with my family physician for my annual influenza immunization. And once that was achieved, I was getting up to leave, and he happened to ask me, "Is there anything else I can do for you today, Patti?" And I said, "How do I know whether there's something going on under my lumpy, bumpy breast?" And he said, "Do you think there's something going on?" I said, "I'm just not sure." So something caused him to sort of tune in on the fact I would speak about that.
Understanding her concern, Patti's family doctor scheduled an ultrasound to investigate the lumps. She was called back to the hospital for a biopsy in less than a week. A few more diagnostic tests later, and she found herself once again at her family doctor's office, waiting to be told the results. On a dreary, dark, cold day almost 5 years ago, Patti sat stunned as she received the news that she had breast cancer.
Right at the diagnosis, as I think most people are, I was just gobsmacked. I knew it was a possibility, but you know, I thought it just wouldn't happen. But it did. So I had that sense of almost an out-of-body experience, that this can't be my experience right now, because I've seen all those other patients having a similar experience, so this one can't be mine. The night that I came home from my family doctor's office, because he had called me back to receive those results, all the way home I just felt very numb, I guess would be the word. And then I walked in the house and I spewed forth, broke forth with the tears. And I told my husband, and he hugged me and said, "We'll get through this." And we did. And then I said, "We have to tell our sons."
If something happens to you, your spouse, your mother or father, your son or daughter, you want to know that you can have access to innovative, world-class care close to home when you need it most.
I am sitting here because of the quality of care I received and the timeliness of that care. So had you told me that I was going to have to wait 6 months to have that surgery, I'm not sure I'd be sitting here, at least not sitting here in that state. So I think the quality of care, from the technical level of care to the personal level of care as well. And I remember Dr. Pierce, who did the initial biopsy, saying, "Now, if this turns out to be something of significance," and I think he knew it would, he said, "We will process everything here and you will be taken care of. You don't have to go away and feel that you're going to be abandoned." And that's exactly what happened. So there was that reassurance, but the reassurance came to fruition as well.
We're lucky in Kingston to have a dedicated team of world-class healthcare professionals who are passionate about providing innovative, outstanding, compassionate care to individuals in our region.
Was remarkable. I knew that my tumor, because I saw the initial report, I knew that my tumor was something rather aggressive that may have prompted part of the speed. But having said that, I have a sense that's a typical routine. But yes, I was moved along quite quickly. But I never panicked because I had such trust in the people that I had met up with. The care was efficient and effective. I think the environments that I was in most of the time were fairly modern. I mean, surely all of the technicians in the radiology department, because I also had radiation therapy. Surely all those nurses in the chemotherapy unit have provided those types of care for people time and time and time again. But I never felt that I was anything but special.
Midway through her treatment, thanks to the support from donors like you, the new chemotherapy treatment suite opened, and Patti was able to finish her treatments in a wonderful, bright, spacious area that overlooked Lake Ontario.
Something else quite neat happened during my time at with chemotherapy and the infusions. The chemotherapy unit moved to its new location. So yes, so I started out in the dreary, flesh-colored pink area that everybody made the best of, tried to make the best of and make everybody comfortable, to this wonderful, bright, spacious area that overlooked Lake Ontario. It was quite, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So it was pretty neat to be able to see that kind of a transition, because the staff had been waiting for such a long time for that unit to open. I walked into the old unit and then the lovely new unit, always fairly healthy. I mean, I had some of the effects of chemotherapy, but I did well. So I walked in quite healthy. Arm in arm with my dear husband, but there were a number of other people who looked much more ill, and I know they were much more ill. But to be able to be in a bright unit like that, where they could have their little bit of privacy, but just a pleasant environment when you have to be involved with that sort of treatment, would be special for them.
Just think of how many patients have been and will continue to be impacted by the expansion and redevelopment of the Cancer Centre of Southeastern Ontario at Kingston General Hospital. Donations from donors just like you have made this possible.
Last year, when I went for my check back, which was very short and sweet, the oncologist that I saw said, "I don't need to see you anymore, have a nice life." Now, I will go back next year, is sort of at the completion around year 5, to see what might be new with clinical trials. I enjoy my cup of coffee that much more. I enjoy reading newspapers that much more. I enjoy puttering in the garden more. So it's caused me just to step away from the busyness of work, and it was very, very busy up late most nights, and maybe have a bit more of a restful world around me.